Dear learners, in this module, we'll have a discussion about compensation structure, that is establishing pay rates and job evaluation methods. So first, try to understand how one can establish the pay rates. So this is a five-step process which one should follow in terms of determining the pay rates. So the first step is salary survey. One can also conduct the salary survey. And then second step is job evaluation. Third one is group similar jobs into pay grades. And then fourth step is price each pay grade. And then fifth step is fine-tune pay rates. So these are the 5 steps process which one should follow in terms of establishing the pay rates. So the step 1 is salary survey. So it is aimed at determining prevailing wage rates. So that's the main purpose of conducting the salary survey. So this is being conducted among the employees. So a good salary survey provides specific wage rates for specific jobs. So formal written questionnaire surveys are the most comprehensive, but telephone surveys and newspaper ads are also sources of information. So in this salary survey, you have to benchmark a job. So a job that is used to anchor employers' pay scale and around which other jobs are arranged in order to determine the relative worth of the job. For this reason only, we are trying to benchmark the job. So different sources of salary survey, there are other sources also available. For example, consulting firms may conduct the salary survey. So as an organizational top head, you can also approach any one of the consulting firm to conduct some salary survey among the similar kind of industries to understand something more about the pay structure of their organization or pay structure of your competitive industries. Professional associations, sometimes professional association also does this kind of job in terms of understanding the salary structure that is prevailing in the market. Government agencies, for example, US Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics, they conduct 3 annual surveys. So area wage surveys and then industry wage surveys and then professional, administrative, technical and clerical surveys. So these are the 3 major surveys that was conducted by US Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS. So they do conduct surveys. Even one can also follow the survey results in terms of determining the pay packet. Even one can also visit some of the websites. For example, salary.com will give you some insights about the salary rate that is being determined for some of the jobs across the globe. For example, you get some of the details related to salary by job and zip code plus job and description for hundreds of jobs and so on. So these are all the details you can get it from salary.com. One of the limitation or downside of referring some information from salary.com is adopts national average by applying local cost of living differences. That's a disadvantage. Even one can also visit www.wageweb.com. So here also average salaries for more than 150 clerical, professional and managerial jobs are available. And one of the downside is it charges $100 for breakdowns by industry, location, etc. location and so on. One can also visit www.executive.net.com. So here you get details about salary, bonus and options for about 650 management posts. Again, one of the downside of using this executive.net is charges an initial $125 for job details, providing the job details. Even one can also refer FutureStep website www.futurestep.com. So here you can analyze the pay levels for people eligible for managerial post, paying about $50,000 to $2 lakh and so on. Even in Indian context, even you can also refer Glassdoor sites. So there even most of the people are sharing their salary details. And then US Office of Personnel Management, you can also visit OPM website www.opm. So there also you get some of the salary and wages for US government jobs. Similarly, in Indian context, if you want to understand the government job salary positions, you can also visit some of the websites like UGC and then MHRD and so on. There also you get salary details about the jobs that is being offered in most of the universities. JobSmart is also on another site, jobsmart.org. Here also you get profession specific salary surveys details, so you can also visit there. And then establishing pay rates. This is the second point, second step, that is job evaluation. So what is job evaluation? Try to understand what is job evaluation. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics USA 1973, they say that job evaluation is the evaluation of rating of jobs to determine their position in the job hierarchy. The evaluation may be achieved through the assignment of points or the use of some other systematic method for essential job requirements such as skills, experience, and responsibility. So in simple sense, a systematic comparison done in order to determine the worth of one job related to another. So this process is nothing but job evaluation. So compensable factor. What is compensable factor? So a fundamental compensable element of a job such as skills, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. So based on this only, the compensable factor is determined. Now try to understand the steps involved in preparing for the job evaluation method. So preparing for the job evaluation. How do you prepare for job evaluation? Identifying the need for the job evaluation. First, you need to understand why you are going to perform the job evaluation in your organization. So in the compensation management context, so to determine the pay rates, I'm trying to perform the job evaluation. Getting the cooperation of employees. Second thing is you need to get really good amount of cooperation and coordination among the employees. For that, you need to make a lot of discussion sessions with your employees. And then the third step is choosing an evaluation committee. You can also create some evaluation committee where they'll be employing this particular procedure in the organizational context. And then performing the actual evaluation. So finally you can implement the evaluation method. There are different evaluation methods are available. So we'll discuss. So the first method which we are going to discuss is ranking method. So in ranking method, simply what we are trying to do is we are trying to rank the jobs that is being carried out in the organization, starting from CEO level jobs to PM level job. So ranking each job related to all other jobs, usually based on some overall factor. Steps in job ranking. How do you do this? So first, obtain the job information. Usually in job description and job specification, you will be able to get this. And then select and group the jobs, and then select compensable factors, and then you rank the jobs. Finally, you can combine the ratings. For example, in XYZ Corporation, how do you rank the jobs? For example, manager is being paid about rupees 8 lakh as an annual pay packet, and then for assistant manager they are paying 6 lakh as a pay packet, supervisor they are paying 3 lakh as a pay packet, and then for clerk they are paying 2,50,000, and then for peon they are paying 1 lakh rupee. So this is the way how you can rank the jobs basically. After ranking the jobs, you can determine the pay rates. Next method of job evaluation is job classification. So here what we are trying to do is raters categorize jobs into groups or classes of jobs that are of roughly the same value for pay purposes. For example, first classes contain similar jobs. So you can also classify the entire jobs done through by the organization members into 3 classes or 4 classes, like top level, middle level, and then lower level, something like that you can classify. And then grades are jobs that are similar in difficult but otherwise different. Jobs are classed by the amount or level of compensable factors they contain. And then the next method is point method. So a quantitative technique that involves identifying the degree to which each compensable factors are present in the job, awarding point for each degree of each factor, and then calculating a total point value for the job by adding up the corresponding points for each factor. For example, you can also identify the degree to which each compensable factors are present in the job. So some of the compensable factors which we have discussed in the earlier slide is something related to understanding their skills, effort, responsibility, and then working conditions and so on. So for depending upon the skills and then effort, responsibility put by the employees, you can also provide or allocate some points for each and every job designation, and then finally you can compute the total points allocated for each and every levels of the job, and then based on the points also you can determine the salary or compensation. And then the next method is work valuation. So in work valuation, a job evaluation system, it is nothing but a job evaluation system that seeks to measure a job's worth through its value to the organization. So jobs are be valued relative to financial, operational or customer service objectives of the organization. Considers that work should be valued relative to the business goals of the organization rather than by an internally applied point factor job evaluation system. So in what way this job is linked with your growth of the organization or value of the organization or the kind of service you are going to deliver to the customers. So through this aspect you can evaluate the jobs. For example, there are some critical areas where that may be highly linked to increasing the value of the organization. So whoever is doing some high level of jobs, for example in the context of automobile industry, so the designer is doing really high level of job than the operation level people. So the kind of job done through by the operation level employees are simply assembling the parts, but the designer is putting lot of effort, he or she should have lot of thinking capability and then creativity in terms of designing a new version of the car. So if this is highly linked with value of the organization, means for the designers you can pay more payment than the operation level people. So work valuation serves to direct compensation dollars or rupees to the type of work pivotal to organization goals. This is nothing but work valuation method. And then another method is also available, that is nothing but Hay profile method. So in Hay profile method, what we are trying to do is, it's a job evaluation technique using three factors, that is knowledge level of the employees, mental activity performed by the employees, and accountability or responsibility. Based on these three major elements, we are trying to evaluate the job basically. And then the next one is computerized job evaluation. So a computerized system that uses a structured questionnaire and statistical models to streamline the job evaluation process. In CAGE, some of the advantages are it simplifies job analysis, helps keep job description up to date, and then increase evaluation objectivity, and then reduce the time spent in committee meetings, ease the burden of system maintenance and so on. These are some of the advantages of using computerized job evaluation methods. There are some software packages also available in terms of performing computerized job evaluation. Yes, of course, some of the packages are paid one. And then the step 3 is group similar jobs into pay grades. So a pay grade is comprised of jobs of approximately equal difficulty or importance as established by job evaluation method. So in point method, the pay grade consists of jobs falling within a range of points. And then for example, in the point method, for some of the job categories, the points are ranged between 75 to 100, and another job category, the points are ranged between 50 to 75, means for 50 to 75, you determine the pay structure, and then 75 to 100, you can determine higher level of payment. So this is the way how the grouping is done. And then ranking method, the grade consists of all jobs that fall within 2 or 3 ranks. So for that, you can design a separate pay packet. And then in classification method, automatically categorizes jobs into classes or grades. And then the step 4 is price each pay grade. So here, how do you determine the compensation for each and every pay grades? So here we are using a concept called wage curve. So in wage curve, basically what we are trying to do is, it shows the pay rates currently paid for jobs in each pay grade related to the points or rankings assigned to each job or grade by the job evaluation. It also shows the relationship between the value of the job as determined by one of the job evaluation methods and the current average pay rates for your grades. So here is an example of plotting a wage curve. So in x-axis, you have the points allocated based on the job evaluation method, and then you correspondingly in the y-axis you have the pay rates in lakhs. So depending upon the points, you can determine the pay rates basically. So the points are spread across this slope line. And then the final step 5 is fine-tune pay rates. So after determining the pay rates for each and every points, so you need to again revise or fine-tune your pay rates. So developing pay ranges basically. So this is one of the major components. And then the second major component is correcting out of line rates. So even some cases, some of the points may be going beyond the lower as well as upper limit of your pay rates. So you need to fine tune the pay rates basically. So in developing pay ranges, it should be flexible in meeting external job market rates and easier for employees to move into higher pay grades. So through that way, you can also motivate the employees. You can determine better performance level of the people. So for these reasons, yes, it should be flexible, as well as you need to determine some of the pay packets which can lead the people to attain higher level of pays within a shorter duration of time. And it allows for rewarding performance differences and seniority. Again, you need to take into account one of the major components, that is nothing but performance differences as well as seniority level of the people. And then correcting out of line rates, there is nothing but raising underpaid jobs to the minimum of the rate range for their pay grade, and then freezing rates or cutting pay rates for overpaid jobs to maximize in the pay range for their pay grades. For example, in this graph, in some cases, in some of the job positions, you may be paying something extra to the employee, which may be going beyond the points currently which was allocated for that particular point position or job position. So if that is the case, you have to fine tune something here. For example, you can also follow some of the standard benchmark standards that is available in the country. For example, the pay for teachers in universities and colleges, for assistant professors, they come under academic pay level 10 with the rationalized entry pay of 57,700 as a basic pay. In the context of Indian universities, I am referring this picture. So this is coming from ugc.ac.in website. So UGC University Grant Commission is one of the governing body or controlling mechanism that is available in India in terms of monitoring the Indian universities. So and then you have another level called assistant professor, AGP 7,000 level. So here the pay band is 15,600 to 39,100, and then the seventh pay packet for the equivalent standard is, this is referred as academic level 11 with the rationalized entry pay of rupees 68,900 rupees. And then the assistant professor level 12, this is nothing but they get minimum pay of 79,800 as a payment, that is basic pay. And then for associate professor, they get 1,31,400 as a basic pay. And then even in the professor, you have two categories. One is normal professor and then HAG scale. So this is nothing but senior professor scale. So in normal professor category, you get 1,44,200 as a payment, as a basic pay. And then in the senior professor category, you get 1,82,200 as a basic pay. So this is what the revised pay structure for Indian university teachers. So the reason why I am trying to showcase this particular picture here is, suppose if you are going to determine the compensation packages for your newly established venture or university means, or similar to academic job, you are going to do it in your organization means, by following these levels and then academic pay bands, you can also determine your organizational pay. This is possible. This is the way how you can also benchmark the payments with other, comparing your pay structure with other organizations. Even for fine-tuning the pay rates also, you can benchmark some of the competitor pay structure in terms of determining or in terms of maintaining external equity whenever you are determining the compensation package to your organizational members. So whenever you are trying to do compensation administration, there are certain questions you need to ask yourself. So a good compensation administration program is comprehensive and flexible and ensures optimum performance from employees at all levels. The following checklist may be used to evaluate a company's program, that is compensation program. The more questions answered yes, the more thorough has been the planning for compensation administration. So whenever you are trying to create a new compensation plan, or whenever you are trying to administer a compensation package in your organization, these are some of the checklist questions one should ask. So here if you get more yes answers, which means that your compensation administration process is really thorough enough or good enough in terms of implementation. So the first question is your plan for salary administration in writing? Do you have stated goals for your plan, such as compliance with applicable law, consistently rewarding performance, attracting quality employees, reducing employee turnover, and so on? And then the next major question is, does your plan include the following topics? Annual wage and hour surveys, and then explanation for salary and schedules, and then evaluation of job classification, premium, bonus, vacation pay, paid medical leave, long-term disability provisions, temporary positions, part-time positions. Is there a written analysis for each job in your company? Does each analysis include a listing of the following job requirements: knowledge, skills, experience, and personal characteristics? Do you periodically review and update each job descriptions? And then, have you set salary ranges for each job category? Do you provide regular written performance evaluation for employees? Are the evaluations used to decide promotions and pay increases? These are the certain questions you should ask under this broader umbrella called, does your plan include the following topics? And the next broader question is, do you communicate your job evaluation plan to our employees through orientation or supervisor, bulletin boards or handbooks? Bulletin boards or handbooks? These are some of the questions which you should ask yourself whenever you want to understand something more about this communication component. And then the last major question is, do you have stated goals for the system, such as increase productivity quality, reduce errors and the cost? Do you respond to suggestions from employees about your compensation plan, and so on? So these are some of the checklist questions one should ask in terms of administering the compensation package in your organization. Overall, in this module, we had a discussion about two major components. So one of the major component is establishing the pay rates. So in what way you can establish the pay rates? So we had a discussion about 5 points. So in the step 1, we had a discussion about conducting the salary survey and then benchmarking the jobs, and then where and all you can get the information about the pay structures. So even I have referred some of the sites like salary.com and then wageweb.com and so on. And then in the second major component, we had a discussion about different job evaluation methods. So in what way the job evaluation method is useful in terms of determining the pay gaps. And then in the third step, we had a discussion about grouping the similar jobs into pay grades. So the reason why we are trying to group similar jobs into pay grade is so that we may not be having different or numerous pay bands or numerous pay grades in the context of determining the compensation packages. That's the reason why we are trying to group similar jobs into pay grades. And then fourth component is here only you are allocating the or determining the price for each pay grade. This is nothing but the fourth step. And then in the fifth step, we had a discussion about fine-tuning the pay rates. And then finally, we had a discussion about compensation administration checklist. So these are the things we have covered in this module. Thank you.